When analysts look at bowl games, they say which team wants to be here the most. How motivated are you guys to be here and win a bowl game, KJ?
Extremely motivated. I mean, like he said, I mean, we haven't been to a bowl game since 2016. So, like Grant said also, I mean, this is our national championship. So we're going to treat each and every day like that. We're going to, you know what I'm saying, just go out, practice hard, high intensity, all that just soak it in.
KJ, you look to be far more comfortable visiting now than you did week 2. How much better do you feel about this stuff and you watching him and the way he's matured in that way?
I mean, just the process. I mean, just going through. I mean, we know it's a long season. I mean, just getting comfortable. Confidence levels rising each and every game, each and every week. Practice going against Grant, guys like that. That's a student of the game. Know what he's doing on the defensive side, and just you know what I'm saying. Just taking it all in, soaking it all in, gaining knowledge from Grant, leadership skills. We fight before we break the huddle down. We fight on who gonna say it. So he just maturing myself, and then just watching those guys ahead of me, just, you know what I'm saying, soaking it all in.
I wonder do y'all remember earlier in like spring or something after a spring game when I was like, I'm trying to get KJ to talk more? And now look at him. I always say I did a good job. He's trying to argue with me who's calling it up. This is awesome. This is what he should be doing. So it's awesome. He, like you asked, like he's done a good job maturing, but it's not as much as he wasn't mature already. It's just he's done a good job vocalizing how mature he is and how good of a leader he is. He's always been a good leader. He's just been able to kind of say, listen, like I'm that guy now. I'm him. I'm the guy I can lead this team no matter who's on the defense side of the ball, and he's done a really good job at that. And people follow KJ Jefferson. People on our team, they look at him and see what he does, and they go, listen, I want to be on that guy's team. And so he's done a really good job of being able to continue to do good and continue to kind of show like he's a consistent person. Because at the end of the day, our players just want people who are consistent. When he's done it from week 1 to now, so it's been fun to watch him and be able to see what he was last year and now how far he's come. I'm excited to be a fan after this year and be able to watch him and see what he does after this. So it's going to be fun.
We're very excited to be here. We've had a good week, a lot of activities for the kids. Certainly trying to stay away from COVID as best we can. I want everybody to know I have such a great respect for Coach Franklin, and he and I have had some really good conversations over the last 2 times we were able to get together, and I have great respect for Penn State University. We've been practicing at the University of Tampa, and it's very close to our hotel. The facilities are wonderful. We've gone through 3 practices thus far. We have one tomorrow morning, and then obviously we'll go to the stadium to do our subscript and walk on Friday before the game. We're excited to play Penn State, and very honored to be a part of the Outback Bowl.
Coach Franklin.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank the Outback Bowl. Obviously, tremendous opportunity to play in a historical bowl game in a great location. We appreciate the weather, very similar to Happy Valley, so appreciate that. I got tremendous respect for the University of Arkansas. Obviously, I've been fortunate enough to be a head football coach in both the SEC and the Big Ten. So I think I got pretty good perspective on that. And I've known Coach Pittman really kind of from afar and his reputation. One of our guys that was on our staff last year, Dow, is now on their staff. So I've gotten some really good insight. And I've heard just nothing but great things. We had an opportunity at the bowling event the other night to really kind of sit there and talk, me, Coach Pittman, and his wife. And just really enjoyed it. Coach Pittman's doing it the right way. There's a lot of excitement at the University of Arkansas right now, which what he's been able to do. I think he's a great fit for the university. And more than that, I think he's a great guy, a regular guy that you can have really good conversation. We were able to bounce things off each other. Really, obviously, not a whole lot about this bowl game, but just things that head coaches, can talk about that you can't really talk to a lot of other people about. And also, our concerns about, some of the things that are going on in college football and college athletics right now. So some really good discussions. I look forward to continuing building our relationship and stay in touch with each other after the bowl. Again, got tremendous respect for the University of Arkansas. I think it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great opportunity for both of us to go out and finish our seasons the way we want to, and hopefully, put a product on the field that the Outback Bowl and Penn State alums and Arkansas alums can all be proud of. So appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, open up for questions. Right over here.
For both coaches, Coach Franklin, you first. The American Underdog movie came out, and Zachary Levi did a great job of playing Kurt Warner. When they filmed the James Franklin story and the Sam Pittman story, who do you want to be the actor that plays you? I'm thinking The Rock was the physique and the hairstyle.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah, it's either going to be The Rock or Denzel Washington, obviously.
Okay,
One of those two.
obviously.
Yeah, one of those
I
two.
like that answer.
But I'm glad you kind of gave me reference because I didn't know what you were talking about when you first started talking. But yeah, probably The Rock. Similar body type, charisma, similar.
Don't they have that problem? Coach Pittman, I'm thinking Tommy Lee Jones. Who do you think?
Well, I'm thinking Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's older, more mature, got a lot of gray like I do. So I don't know. I think he's made a lot of money. That's who I'd like to do represent me.
We got right here, down front. Right, you.
Take a bunch of softball questions like that.
Yes,
Coach.
Right there.
we stay here all day.
Okay, they call on me, I think. Coach Franklin, in breaking down the Arkansas offense, what do you make of their balance, their run-pass balance? What do you see from them?
Well, I think it starts with their quarterback, right? Big, physical, mature guy. I think they do a really nice job of, obviously not only from a tempo standpoint, but to me it starts and ends with the running game. I know you talk about balance, but I think it's obvious that they want to run the ball. Obviously having a head coach who's got an offensive line background, and those guys usually pride themselves with that. I think his personality and identity shows up on the offensive side of the ball. And then I think they do enough of the things to keep you honest. The play action passes and the RPOs off of it, that can be challenging. Also some of the tricks and gimmick plays. And then I think the other thing is, I think when you have that type of quarterback, you got to manage it during the season. But when you get to the bowl game, and this is the last game of the year, we're expecting them to run that 245-pound quarterback a bunch. So we got to be prepared for that. It's going to be a challenge. There's no doubt about it. I think their offensive coordinator does a good job, keeping you on your heels and off balance as much as possible. And they've had the personnel to be able to do it. But I think it really starts and ends with their quarterback.
Right here in the middle.
Sam, question for you. What can you say about Kendall Briles and his development of KJ Jefferson this season?
I think Kendall's done a nice job. I went back to Felipe Franks from last year. I think, obviously Felipe played a lot of ball, but for him, he had never been in that system. So I think Briles is a really good teacher, really good communicator. Certainly KJ has gotten better throughout this year with his throwing ability and the long ball. He's gotten better there. You guys remember we opened up scrimmages last year in the spring simply because I felt like we needed to put pressure on him with people in the stands to perform, him and Malik for that matter. But I think Kendall's done a really nice job, and I believe, like Coach said, I believe he's a good play caller.
Right back here, Stephen.
Hi, James. I wanted to ask you on the defensive side.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that me and Coach were talking about, the other day. I've been a head coach now. I've been fortunate enough to be a head coach for 12 years. Have never had an opt-out in all of my 12 years. They've had a little bit of it. We've had more. And it's challenging. What I would say is I'm focused on the guys that are in our locker room. That doesn't mean that I'm not happy and excited and supportive of the guys that are not, but I'm excited about the guys that are in our locker room, and I'm excited about the guys that are going to have bigger roles. I think we all know the last 2 years of college football have been different and have been challenging. Obviously, not only what's really happened nationally, but also conference to conference. This was handled differently on every single conference. Our season was canceled and then restarted again. It's been a challenging 2 years. I think back earlier in the season to our Rutgers game, and we got hit with the flu, and we didn't have a scholarship quarterback available on Friday. So there's been a lot of challenges, but at the end of the day, the reality is you got to find a way to get it done. As one door closes, another door opens, and it's an opportunity for another player. And I think it's also going to give us a really good kind of picture of what our future is going to be. It's going to be guys that are going to get a bunch of reps in this game that maybe hadn't in throughout the season. So there's some challenges, no doubt about it. Our guys are excited. And I think there's also some tremendous leaders that are out there that we're dependent on and are going to need to step up for us. There's no doubt about it.
Did you ever cross into one of these to not like?
Well, what I would say is we discussed what we think is going on a bunch in college football. And I think, I'll speak for myself. We've never seen this in college football, right? We've never seen people, not playing. It happened a little bit last year. We thought we were done with it. It's happening again this year. I don't really kind of want to get into it because I can't really speak for other people and what they are doing. For us, we want to play, and we want to represent the Outback Bowl the right way. We want to represent Penn State the right way. Are there challenges? Probably more challenges than there's ever been before in college football, yes. But we're excited about representing the Big Ten the right way. We want to represent Penn State the right way, and we're very blessed and fortunate to be here in the Outback Bowl, and we're gonna take it as a blessing and take advantage of the opportunity.
Well, I think it says a lot about Penn State and Coach Franklin. I mean, he's had several guys, and if you look at it, and if we played in a regular season, the teams would be different. I mean, they're just different because we've had a couple of, NFL leaving for the NFL. He's had several over there, and at Penn State, and the teams are different. I mean, that's just what it is. And so once you wrap your mind around that the teams you're going to field a different football team, and you're going to probably find some surprises both ways from who's out there. But we have 120 on our team, and the other 115 or 110 that are left right now, they deserve the opportunity to play. And I don't think either one of us, and I don't want to speak for Coach, are looking for a way out. We're looking for a way in. And I think that's what Coach did, and I know that's what we did as well.
Back here.
James, could Olu, do you think he'd be capable and ready to be a left tackle if he started 50 in this game?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Olu, could he be capable, ready to start at left tackle if need be in this game?
Yeah, he better be, right? Yeah. He was going to start earlier in the year and had an injury and was unable to start. And that's when Landon went in and started and played really well as a true freshman. But yeah, we've been preparing and planning, and like I said, Olu was going to start during the year, and now we're in a position, obviously, that he's going to do it on Saturday, and we have a lot of faith and confidence in him. So it's going to be exciting to watch him go out and play. He's had a really good week of practice.
Right over here, front row.
Do I think it's important when Big Ten and SEC teams play each other?
Yeah, good for college football.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, two great conferences.
Yeah.
Obviously, like you mentioned, we played Auburn earlier in the year. It's kind of unusual. I think when we played Auburn, if I'm correct, it was the first time we'd ever played. I think first time there had ever been really, I think, a Big Ten SEC matchup during regular season or some crazy stat like that there was. And then obviously playing Arkansas right now, there's not too many things left in 2021 that you can say has never happened before. So it's a pretty cool opportunity.
Yeah, I think it's big for the teams, the players, and obviously the fans. I think it's good for both those.
Right here.
Coach Pittman, Grant talked a lot yesterday about Penn State's tight ends and how they use them kind of different than the other teams in State. Do you agree with that? And how would you kind of evaluate the tight ends in Penn State's offense?
Well, they're talented. I mean, Penn State has a big, thick running back as well, and so Lee, I believe, is Lee, and he's a good player, a big, good player. And then off of that, they run a little play action, and then coming off to the tight ends, and those guys are really good blockers. They're good catchers. They're very talented. But I think if Grant's saying that, we've emphasized that, that they're very talented players, and we have to know where they're at and how to defend them.
Yeah, right here.
For both coaches, Coach really part of it.
Yeah, for me, I can explain it in, when we're coming in on the bus to the home games, and you see people walking across there, and I was one of those people, trying to get into the game, trying to get a glimpse of the coach on the bus, the players on the bus. They didn't have the hog walk back then, but, just trying to get in the stadium and feel the atmosphere. I feel that every single home game, very surreal, very honoring. I'm honored that I'm the head coach at Arkansas, but yeah, I mean, I feel it all the time. I was a fan. I went to camp, went to football camp there, and Lou Holtz was the coach. And
Did you get rejected too?
Well,
I got rejected.
I'm glad you said the two, because that kind of makes me feel.
Yeah, I got rejected. I went to Penn State's camp.
I got recruited none. So I don't know if it ever got to the rejection part.
Yeah, excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt, Coach,
No,
but yeah,
I was done.
I grew up just outside of Philadelphia, so it's unusual, a lot of times that you have the opportunity to be able to come back home. I played in the state of Pennsylvania. I did go to camp. I think Jim Caldwell was the quarterback's coach at the time. They had a drill, Coach Pittman, where you threw fades and it had like a little target sitting in the end zone, and I won that drill.
That's
and
awesome.
I thought for sure Coach Caldwell was going to come over and talk to me about why I should be at Penn State, and he never came over.
Right by you.
But yeah, it's something obviously that you take a lot of pride in. Obviously you understand the history, you understand the tradition. I think we're also both at places, that really emphasize the true student athlete and getting a great education at a great university. So there's so many reasons that I think, for us that it's important, and college football is really important, and being able to win games is really important, but at Penn State it's also about, getting a great education and having a well-rounded experience and being prepared and ready for life when that comes, when the game of football comes to an end. So I think all those things allow for me, obviously being a local guy, having pretty good perspective on what it truly means to be a Penn Stater.
Right down here.
Each of you coaches have lost a significant piece of your offense, a premier playmaker at wide receiver. Could you each reflect on what that player meant to your program and what it's been like adjusting your offensive plan without that?
Well, Burks was, he's from the state. He was our go-to guy. He was our big play guy. Anytime we got zero coverage or man coverage, everybody in the place knew we was going to throw him the ball, and he was, a lot of times he'd go make the play, and a lot of times he'd score on it. I understand his situation and things of that nature, but losing him, we lost a lot of offense, and we also lost a very good leader. But can we replace him? It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot of people to replace one Burks. But the great thing about that is we knew before we ever started bowl practice that he was not going to play in the bowl, and so that's allowed us these 4 weeks in and out of 4 different type of weeks to plan and prepare for that. And the guys, like Coach said, our guys, the ones that are getting ready to play, are looking forward to the opportunity, and and you know, they're young, but yet we recruited them for a reason, and hopefully they can make plays like Burks did.
Yeah, for us, kind of a similar story, right? Jahan Dotson from the state of Pennsylvania, decided to stay home after being committed to another school, and it worked out really well for Jahan Dotson, and it worked out really well for Penn State, and I could not be more proud. Jahan had an opportunity last year to leave and decided to come back, and I think it really helped him. All the draft reports that we've gotten, I think it's really helped him, and it's helped Penn State. And that's really what life is about, right? Mm-hmm. Trying to create as many win-win situations as you can. And we were able to do that. But, just like Coach talked about losing Jahan, everybody knows he was our big play guy, and has been for the last couple of years. Last year as a punt returner and receiver, this year mainly as a receiver. But it's an opportunity for Keandre, it's an opportunity for Parker, it's an opportunity for CSB and Mega and those guys to step up. And then back to the guys that Coach was talking about earlier, the tight end group. And I think both of us, our answer is probably similar. It's not like there's going to be one guy that's going to step up and replace that production. It needs to be a little bit, of all the guys. And for us, I could say the same thing. I had a conversation with our defensive staff and our defensive players about losing our defensive coordinator. And Coach Pry, it's going to be the same type of approach. So, it's a tremendous opportunity.
Right down here on the aisle.
Coaches, with some of the bowl games being canceled and also in some cases at the last minute because of COVID, does that frame your opinion or message to kids in any different way? Maybe emphasizing precautions, maybe talking to each other, figuring out a contingency plan. Like, how has that informed how you guys are processing this?
I'll take, if he asks another question.
Again, I have opinions on other places and other things and some of the things that I think are going on, and I know Coach does as well. We've talked about those privately, but in this setting, I'm going to specifically talk about Penn State. We're just going to do everything we possibly can, like we have all year long, to keep our guys safe. I do think we're at a point of the season where they're kind of sick of listening to me. Mm-hmm. We've been pounding these messages home all year long, and overall, our doctors and our trainers and our players have done a tremendous job with that. And we're going to need to do that, not just up till game time, because this isn't just about protecting college football. It's also about these guys making great choices so they can be safe and healthy throughout the rest of the year and their lives. So, with the game of football, there come sacrifices. With your health, there are sacrifices that have to be made, and there's lessons in all of this, right?
I think you don't really have to. The kids see it. They see this bowl's opted out, this bowl opted out, this, and so there's not a lot you have to say other than what we're doing. Wearing our masks in the building and all that kind. We've gotten to this far without losing guys to COVID and this, that, and other. I know there's a new variance and all that right now, but I think anytime you have a coaching staff and a team that wants to play the game, and it's not always that way, but it makes it easier to get the game going. And I think Penn State wants to play, and think we want to play. So,
right down here in front.
For James, on the defensive side.
Yeah, I think as you guys can imagine, some of the announcements are coming out are new to you guys, but they're not new to us. We had a pretty good understanding. What I try to do is at the end of the year, I sit down with all these guys and have conversations, and sometimes their parents are included in those conversations. And like I said, for 12 years, we've never had one. And that doesn't mean for 12 years there hasn't been guys that have been advised not to play, and there hasn't been guys that have considered it. But literally for 12 years, we've never had one. So this is new information for you guys. It's not new for us. We've been planning and prepared for this for a while. There's really none of these announcements are new to us.
Right back here.
James, you talked to Owen yesterday about possibly making the transition to Sam linebacker. Obviously, you guys are a little depleted in that room. Is that something you see for him this game and beyond? And how is he kind of making that transition?
Yeah, he's already done that, this year. He's already played, that position. I think that was part of him coming back. He's going to come back next year and use his extra year. I think he realizes, as well as we do, although he's got some safety skills and DB skills, he plays his best the closer he is to the football. I think that's his long-term future. So it made sense for him to come back, fill one of those roles and be able to put, a whole season of tape together of showing probably, what his role and identity will be at the next level. So, obviously he's been a great special teams player for us. But yeah, playing that, what we call the field backer or the Sam linebacker, I think that's his future, and he'll play that on Saturday.
In the back here.
Coaches, you guys have a goal, you're going to Busch Gardens later, and then the beach trip. At this point in your careers, how are you balancing the fun of a bowl game with coaching and trying to get you guys prepared for that?
Well, I have no experience at it, so it's pretty balanced to me. I mean, I don't. I mean, he's been to a gazillion of them. As a head coach, we're practicing in the morning, and we're telling the guy, your day has objectives in it, objectives in it, and it has things that you need to get accomplished. And practice is first and foremost, and we're doing it early in meetings, and then, the rest of the day they can go out on their own and do. As long as they can plan their day, and I want it to have success the whole day. I think the fun and the practice and the meetings and all that can be put together. So that's what we're trying to do, and it's good that we're starting practice in the morning, because that way they have to be in a little better shape coming home, get earlier curfew and things of that nature.
Right here in the back.
Yep.
Sam, the SEC has not done well yet in the bowl. Does that lend us even more pizzazz for this bowl game?
I wish the answer was yes, but each of those schools got their own team, their own, going to NFL. A lot of times in the SEC and then the Big Ten and things of that nature. I mean, you're going to have really good players, and by the time until we get to more teams in the playoffs, like I said before, you're going to play a different team. It's going to have the same logo on there, but it's not the same team that you had during the regular season. And I think that's a little bit what's happened to the SEC. Maybe not. Maybe they just got beat. I know I'll catch a lot of heck for saying that from the teams that beat the SEC teams. But for me, it's about preparing our team well enough to go out there and play as good as we possibly can. Hadn't thought much about the SEC not being 0-4.
All right, couple more questions here, right here in the black.
Sam, you got Tyson Morris back today. What does his addition bring? Again, you talked about wide receivers stepping up, and for a kid from Fayetteville has been through the trenches with this team, so important for him to be here.
Well, we needed him back. His legs look fresher than the other guys today. He hadn't practiced for a few days, but
He looked good.
well, I tell you, I'd leave him wide open. He dropped a couple. But you're right. He's from Fayetteville. He's super senior, coming back, all those things, and I'm just glad that he was able to get back today, and he seemed to be excited. The kids seemed to be excited for him,
All right, in the back.
James, you talk about your linebackers. Do you feel like you have the requisite numbers to play how you want to at linebacker with the opt-outs? And are you in a position where you might have to burn some red shirts that you otherwise wouldn't have?
Yeah, fair question. Obviously, there's not a whole lot I'm going to answer in terms of things that I think could affect the game and from an information standpoint. But yeah, we're gonna have to burn some red shirts. There was some conversations. We've been very strategic about playing guys in 4 games and playing some guys in 3 games and saving a game for a bowl and things like that. But as the season went on and we had the flu spike and other things, it was hard to do that. So yeah, we have some guys that we're going to have to burn their red shirts for this game, but it's not something, that I decide that on my own. I don't think that's the right thing to do or fair. You bring the young men in, you have some conversations with them. Sometimes you include the parents in those conversations. I still think it's a little bit better than the old days where, I'll never forget Dominique Foxworth, who's on TV now, who I recruited out of Baltimore at the University of Maryland. He burned his red shirt for one game at the end of the season to send us to the ACC championship, years ago. And I really think this was the right change. This was one of the rules that have been changed. I think it's the right thing to do. So yeah, you're talking about burning a guy's red shirt, but you're really talking about burning a guy's red shirt for 5 games, where you'd still like to preserve it if you could. But I think it's a very different conversation than in the old days. You're talking about a kid that you've been trying to redshirt all year long, and now you have no choice, and you have to play him in the bowl game, and he's lost an entire year for one game. I think it's still a better scenario than that is. But yeah, that's where we're at. We're gonna have to play some of those guys.
One last one right here.
For both coaches again, you're not one of the 4 teams playing in the college football playoffs. Is there a better place than the Outback Bowl in Tampa, kicking off New Year's Day?
You work for the Outback Bowl?
There's a promotional announcement. Sorry.
Yeah, I saw you slide them 5.
Yes.
But no, I mean, yeah, obviously, I think both of us in the conferences we play in and the schools that we have from a historical perspective, obviously, we want to make the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. But if not, to be able to play on New Year's Day in Tampa, Florida, and at the Outback Bowl, and it's a tremendous opportunity. So I know we're very, very excited and fortunate to be here.
We lobbied for it. I mean, we did. We wanted to come here, and we made no bones about it. We wanted to come to Tampa and the Outback Bowl. Now, we didn't know the opponent. We may have tried to lobby somewhere else, but we wanted to come here. We wanted to play on New Year's Day. It was a big deal for us in our program, and so we did. We lobbied for it.
Oh, you got Ohio State, or Penn State rather, and Arkansas.
You can't tell, sorry.
No, you can't. It's a white out there. Penn State's got to get their offense going. Deshaun Dotson is out, puts more on Clifford. He's got to be able to make plays. And one thing about this team with Arkansas is I've been impressed with their attitude. They've been through some adversity. What a different year from last year to this year with Sam Pittman. Yeah. The big fella, KJ Jefferson, going to have to get it done. Let's start with the Outback Bowl in Tampa.
So you got an hour and 32 minutes to kick off. It's on ESPN2. There's James Franklin, 51st bowl appearance, 10th most all time for the Nittany Lions. That's settled down a little bit. More contract extension for James after being the subject of much of the coaching carousel rumors. And what a job former Georgia assistant Sam Pittman has done.
Their fans are fired up. Not only they love Sam Pittman, they love this team, the direction they're heading. I look at this bowl game as a classic game to use as a springboard into the 2022 season. Penn State down several starters. Clifford not only coming back to play in this game, he's coming back next year. You're going to need to be patient against this Arkansas defense. He doesn't have Dotson. Pittman, he's got the Hogs believing. KJ Jefferson's throwing and running. It's been 10 years since the Hogs won 9 games. We got a chance to do that today.
I don't know if the SEC is any good or not. I know Alabama and Georgia are good, but what do you? I mean, they're really good.
Really good.
What do you think? What are we going to learn from Ole Miss and from Arkansas that we're going to see in just a little bit today?
Well, the Arkansas game's interesting just because of the opt-outs on both sides of the ball, with Arkansas on the defensive side and Jahan Dotson for Penn. Like, how's Penn State going to score points? That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah.
In that game, and you certainly think Arkansas would be a. But again, it's so. One of the most ridiculous things in bowl season to make a blanket statement judging a conference based on bowl results. Like, every conference has good
I do it every year.
Yes, I know you do.
And I'm going to keep doing it.
You keep doing it.
It's fun.
But you're going to judge the SEC. You're going to judge the SEC on like Auburn and all those bottom level teams having opt-outs.
Yeah.
Barry, so cantankerous over here. No. I do it every year. You know what? I'm doing it right now. I'm still going to do it. 25 and a half minutes to kickoff. Barry, remember what I said yesterday? Punchy Herbie's the best Herbie.
Exactly right. This is always our favorite show of the year.
They're coming out swinging after 2 hours of sleep.
There's KJ Jefferson from. You slept? From Arkansas.
I tried. Bear was across from me.
What does that mean? I have a feeling I know what that means.
I should
Shades on.
Relaxer.
Earplugs Bear looks like he's on a waterbed. He looks like he's got the ears play. He's got the mask on. I mean,
Absolutely.
He looks like
He by far got the most sleep.
Every time I wake up, I look at Bear. Bear
Took the Tylenol
RD
PM.
got
It was
some
great.
Z's, man. RD was in front of me, and RD was. I woke up like several times, and I'm like, RD was just like.
I didn't do a good job leaning my seat back. So I discovered
Pollock
later
took
on
the
it went
one
farther
couch
back.
on the plane.
He was like,
He's out. He was out. Took the couch.
Yeah. Give me a quick pick of Penn State and Arkansas.
Who's
Let's
playing?
start.
You know, since Sean Clifford opted in, he's coming back for an 8th season. I think I'm gonna go with Penn State because of Sean Clifford.
I mean, Big Ten dominating bowl games, Kirk. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to go with the Big Ten, right? Penn State. I mean,
You know what? I'll give Penn State the edge. I think Clifford coming back. I think Parker Washington and the Penn State tight ends could be the difference in the game.
I'll go Arkansas just to be contrarian.
There you go.
And, I mean, KJ Jefferson.
And they're going to be fired
physicality.
up. Their fans will take that.
I want to see Penn State run the football at some point, like since Saquon's left. Like, it'd be nice to see them run the ball a little bit. In the near future.
They don't have that elite package.
But
They got a different offensive system.
Kind of going back to the former offensive system again.
Yep. It worked.
Penn State and Arkansas, that kicks off top of the hour, noon Eastern time on ESPN2.
And Trey Williams both are out for the Razorbacks, who had a breakthrough year. This was a program that for 2 straight years did not win a conference game. Last year, you saw the signs of them headed back in the right direction. This year was the breakout.
Yeah, and the excitement. I mean, we certainly felt it talking to the coaches. I was down on the field before the game. There is no question that the Arkansas players are enthusiastic. Could they be too hyped up to start the game?
Arkansas won the toss. They have deferred. So Cam Little, who has not kicked off this year, doing that for the first time today, is going to boot one into the end zone. It's a touchback.
And 67 TDs responsible for it.
He throws one here. It's knocked down, incomplete, and almost intercepted by Greg Brooks. Well, Clifford's different kind of running quarterback than the Arkansas quarterback, KJ Jefferson, who we'll talk about when they get the football. Lee with his second carry already. Huge issue for Penn State all year long. Penn State offense. Play fake to Lee. Clifford again on the move is just going to have to throw it away. And we'll see if they bring pressure. They do. Clifford is going backwards and he throws it away.
There are 2 officials huddled together.
Intentional grounding. Number 14, offense.
Snap and hold, and the kick is not even going to be close.
Receivers in college football, likely first-round pick.
3rd down, Jefferson with all kinds of time over the top. That's complete across midfield for an Arkansas first down. Into Penn State territory, and Jefferson will hand the ball off. That's Dominique Johnson with a lot more room. Breaking tackles inside the 30 and still going almost down to the 20. What a great story he is. After starting the year way down on the depth chart, he's become their primary tailback.
Yeah, things were so bad for him that they held him at tight end for a day until they needed to move him back to running back, and he took advantage of it and has become the starting running back. They have a rotation, but he's the lead guy. He's moving around a little bit to cover up the lack of starters.
Another handoff and more broken tackles for Johnson, still lunging forward, and I think he got there real close to the first down. Just a great play.
To go that far?
And good for him. He could have opted out of this bowl game. Brown decided to play. Clifford will roll right on second and short. Throw, and that one is intercepted by Arkansas. And what a great play on the ball that was. Greg Brooks.
Interception. First down, Arkansas.
Free safety look, and reading the coverage is a difficult thing. Now they're showing man, he underthrows this, and look at the way that Brooks takes it away from Strange.
Quick snap to Clifford, and he swings it out to the tight end. Beautifully defended. That play lost a couple yards.
We've been talking about now. Clifford's got to figure out, what are they playing? What's the coverage?
In the pocket, throws short middle, and that one stopped short of the first down. A lot of people were stunned when that hire was announced. He has been the perfect fit. Here's Rocket Sanders, who gets to touch the ball across midfield. Arkansas first down. See, you can have fun and still play a good football game. Third down and very long for Arkansas. Jefferson steps up, throws, caught in the middle of the field, and going backwards is Warren Thompson. He had the first down, and he gave it up. He went back 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah.
Man, that was a mistake. Warren Thompson, who they think has a chance to really be a good player at Arkansas, that was not a good decision.
Yeah, 6'3", transfer from Florida State. Only 18 catches this year. He's looking for the big play instead of the first down. And in retreating, he now presented Arkansas with a 4th and 3. 4th and 2. Analytics say always go. Pittman says he uses his gut.
Jefferson will motion back into the backfield. So the quarterback is going to take the snap. Just a 3-man rush. Jefferson gets away. Now Jefferson going to try to run for it, and he'll get it. KJ Jefferson inside the 30. That is hard to defend. Sanders, big hole. Rocket Sanders inside the 15. One of the few Florida natives playing here in his home state for Arkansas.
Defenders taking on 11 defenders on 10 guys.
Arkansas can get a first down at the 5. Jefferson got away and still on his feet. KJ Jefferson, you just said it a minute ago, he's just so hard to tackle. He's 240 pounds. I think he's about a half a yard short. I would guess that Sam Pittman wants to go for it.
Yeah, the way he finishes runs, he's not your typical quarterback. He's not looking to slide, and he will lower the shoulder. He's a powerful guy.
So here we go, 4th down. It's much less than 4th and 2. 4th and maybe a half a yard, something like that. Arkansas hands it off and gets the first down. That was an unusual looking start to the play on 1st and goal. And they are going to snap another play. Sanders change directions, touchdown. Florida kid gets in the end zone.
Rocket Sanders. Penn State gave up the edge. No defender there once they had the
Big Ten SEC matchup. Arkansas and Penn State. Some big plays by the defenses in the first few minutes of the game. The Arkansas offense capitalized on a couple
to move on and get to the next play. It takes a little bit when you make a mistake like that.
Handoff and losing his balance. Jefferson keeps it, throws it short to the tight end. Kern turns it upfield and delivers a hit himself. Totally turned around when he took over. Now KJ Jefferson is in motion, so they're going to run an option play with the backup quarterback in and Davion Warren.
The National High School 4x100 championship relay team.
Well, he's running a pass pattern this time. Hornsby is. Jefferson just a standard quarterback play. But he sure looks like the next big star, the next go-to guy. He'll get the catch here in traffic and couldn't get away this time. Gang tackled. From the Arkansas 15, Sean Clifford in the pocket, going to throw and incomplete. Lambert Smith broke off the route. The ball went over his head. It's 4th down. Yeah, ugly. Again from the shotgun. Clifford throws into traffic. That was dangerous. Tyler Warren made the catch. Penn State's team.
6'6", 315 pounds.
3rd and 15. Clifford steps up, spins away, gets away. Clifford, now on the move, is going to be tackled out of bounds. So ultimately, much better coverage that time from Arkansas downfield after Clifford got away.
A great job of Clifford being Houdini and escaping out of this. He looks like he's done right there. Everything but going down. I mean, his jersey was being pulled, and he still managed to pull away from it.
There's also the punter is going to take the snap and look to throw. Stout is going to heave it to nobody in particular. Arkansas drops the ball, which is very good for the Razorbacks. You don't want to catch that because now Arkansas gets better field position with 45 seconds on the clock. They ran a fake.
Explain that one to me.
Let's watch it again and see if we can come up with something.
Well, look here. There is nobody back for Arkansas, right? So they're thinking maybe they can catch him sleeping. But look, Arkansas's covering all the receivers. They're covering folks. So what do? They just throw it up. I don't really get the rationale for that one because now you give Arkansas an opportunity. If you're going to go for something, put your quarterback in, let him throw it.
Here's my rationale. It's a bowl game. Try something weird and different and fun.
All right.
And why the heck not?
Okay.
But it did not work. Little inside screen to the wide receiver. That is Davion Warren, who gets it out to the 45. Clock moving, though.
28 seconds and a timeout.
Had a great chance to get 3 points. And instead, they'll go to the locker room trailing.
Some pageantry now at the Outback Bowl, the Arkansas band. It looks sunny and lovely out there in Florida. This is one of the great parts of a college football bowl game. You get the band, you get the fans, you get the fun, and ideally you get the warm weather, and that's what Woo Pig is enjoying out there in Florida. Much more is still ahead as we count you down to other bowl games across the country, including Arkansas. Can they pull this off, Ache?
I don't think they can. Penn State has too much on offense.
Keandre Lambert-Smith running free by a good 30 yards, and that was how they got on the board.
See, I told you we were going to have our PlayStation first half stats.
You don't lie.
First quarter yards, second quarter, big difference for the Razorbacks. How about the sacks for Penn State? 4 sacks for the Nittany Lions unofficially by some accounts. Get things tightened up along the front, although some of those sacks were the result of good coverage. KJ Jefferson carrying the ball on the first play and carrying Penn State defenders for an Arkansas first down. Second down, Jefferson faked it and makes a man miss. There goes KJ Jefferson. He's just so hard to get to the ground.
But he is a strong runner.
Handoff, another broken tackle. The spin move from Dominique Johnson. He's going to try to get back in this game at some point. 2nd and 5 for Arkansas. Jefferson, the keeper, straight ahead run. KJ Jefferson inside the Penn State 30.
Yeah, Myron Cunningham, the left tackle, with a tremendous block. Just watch the left side and look at that hole that gets created because Cunningham wins over there.
Now the handoff, and Johnson finds a way to squirt through. There goes Dominique Johnson inside the 10. All rush plays on this second half opening drive. There's another one, touchdown. Great ball handling by KJ Jefferson, fooled just about everybody, and then waltzed right in.
He was a magician with the ball that time. He had them so fooled that they tackled the wrong ball carrier. Look at this. That's Johnson, and they go after Johnson because he stuck the ball in there and rode it so long.
What discipline. Penn State first possession of the second half. Clifford takes a big hit. Maybe their best defensive player. Safety's been out since the early weeks of the season. Clifford option play, and he goes down. Ball snap, pressure comes. Clifford takes a big hit, and it's incomplete.
He took a big hit. He barely got that ball off.
Fouché, one of those safeties, came with some big-time pressure.
Yeah, just see it coming from the backside. That's Fouché. And he also gets a little help on the other side by Utsi. Clifford got up. He was a little slow getting up, but he shook it off. How would you change things? We've had some issues with players opting out.
Straight ahead, Jefferson, another big run for KJ Jefferson. That is...
Stop this.
That was 19 yards. Jefferson in the pocket, looking to throw. He will throw, and it's caught.
This is the previous play. Now watch as Jefferson gets outside and his receiver moves with him. Repeat those plays until they don't work.
They bring Warren under center briefly. Then they fake the ball. Jefferson keeps it. Jefferson just trying to bulldoze his way there, but he stopped the yard short.
They could block him.
Jefferson is under center here. He's going to hand it off, and a little stutter move. Close. I thought that Johnson was easily going to get there. I think his forward progress will give Arkansas the first down. Jefferson, quick hitter left side, turning it inside, and the tackle well short of the first down, Tyson Morris. Good snap and hold, and that kick is good. Cam Little and Arkansas, New Year's Day in Tampa. Razorbacks lead by 7. Develop offensive linemen and the running attack. I mean, it's been there at times. I think it's the one thing that's been the missing piece for Penn State. They've been an excellent team.
They should be just, supported and applaud them.
Clifford out to the right side, and that one well defended by Arkansas. Kane alongside, got to get this play snapped, and he will. The pressure comes, he throws incomplete. KJ Jefferson, another quarterback run, and again on the move, breaking tackles. There goes Jefferson out to midfield, gets upended there.
Until Penn State proves they can stop it. It's just a zone read action. Poor pursuit angles by Penn State. Finally a good one at the end there by Keaton Ellis to get the stop there. But Penn State over pursued early, had poor pursuit angles, which allowed KJ Jefferson to get more yards. Well, he came into this game having the most rushing attempts. If he gets loose, they will not catch him.
Hornsby is going to keep it. We'll see if you're right. They can't catch him. Inside the 20. He cuts it inside and almost gets there. Man, can he fly. Malik Hornsby is first and goal, Arkansas.
Probably the fastest player on the team. He anchored the fastest 4x100 relay team in the country for high schools.
First and goal. Razorbacks starting to just pound the ball on the ground. Touchdown! Rocket Sanders, the Florida native, his second of the game. Second and 10. Option play, Clifford. Oh, goodness. Bumper Pool just put a bump on Sean Clifford. That was more than a bump. That was a whomp.
And his name is Bumper. That's his legal name. Look at this.
Borderline illegal. And Graham Morgan was there too.
His given name was James. His dad wanted to name him Bumper. That wasn't allowed.
New Year's Day from Tampa at the Outback Bowl as we start quarter number 4. Arkansas dominated the third quarter, and they lead Penn State 24-10.
They do.
Lee in motion. They fake it to him. Clifford ducked away and is intercepted in the corner of the end zone. Fouché snatched it away.
But the play was never there. Coverage was there, and this underthrow, another takeaway for Arkansas. Yeah, this is a pretty good job. Here's Fouché here. Here's the coverage on the slot. So they essentially have him covered, but Fouché is going to look for work. He's going to help wherever he's needed. He sees Clifford looking, and look at him go over and help. Now, Johnson is not open, and Fouché still goes over to help because the eyes of Clifford takes him there, and this ball is also underthrown.
3rd and 6 here. Chance for the Nittany Lions to get off the field. A handoff left side. And a big pop, but a broken tackle by Rocket Sanders, who has really been a standout today for Arkansas. I mean, that's close, but
he might be short.
He did not quite get there. He's a yard short.
What are you doing, Arkansas? Are you going?
They're going.
Wow.
And Penn State, did Penn State call a timeout? No, I guess not. There's a penalty flag that was thrown. Arkansas runs the play and gets the first down. I think Penn State had too many men on the field. Off. That's Noah Kane with the carry. Out to the 15. He grew up in Canada, came to play high school in the United States, first in upstate New York, then in the Washington, D.C. area. Big kid, 6'4", 202 pounds. Christian Veilleux, that quick hitter, open field tackle. Parker Washington for a short gain, just has not really been there.
Yeah.
Pressure comes. Veilleux can't get away. Joe Fouché.
A blitz where they had no chance of picking up Fouché. You saw Eric Wilson out there, could not get a hand on and turned him loose.
Sam Pittman's pretty confident that, again, next year Arkansas is going to have the #1 strength of schedule in college football. Man, the speed of Malik Hornsby, he is so fast. 2nd and 11 out of the timeout. Play fake. Hornsby bounces it left. Hornsby turns on the Jets. Inside the 20.
Keaton Ellis saved a touchdown.
On top, especially in the SEC Big Ten matchups, you get the SEC chance. Left sideline. Arkansas wants to stay in bounds. They do. A.J. Green got, I think, all 17. That should be 1st and goal. So Arkansas is going to finish this one off. Handshakes will start coming now.
There may not be a better fit in college football when you put coach to program.
Sam and his wife were walking into the stadium today before the game with all the Arkansas fans. They look like the first family of the state of Arkansas, waving, blowing kisses, high fives everywhere. I think he's going to get cooled off here in a moment. There's the knee. Yeah, they got him. Sometimes late in the year, those don't feel so good. That one probably feels pretty good.
It's all right today.
Maybe.
He's got a dry shirt somewhere. Someone's going to bring him a dry shirt.
Well, Penn State's got some work to do leading into next year. Arkansas, they're going to be dreaming big. That should do it. That final knee.
You know, they will lose an outstanding group of linebackers at Arkansas. You know, Grant Morgan in particular has been a tremendous player for Arkansas, from walk-on to All-America. Last game for him today.
Yeah, congratulations to him. A huge part of the rebuild of this program, which feels like it's just about complete. 24-10, first New Year's Day win for the Razorbacks since the 2000 Cotton Bowl, and the wet head coach is down with Stormy.
Coach, I'm sure few things in life feel better than the ice bath you just took. What are you feeling right now?
Oh, that was cold. You know, I'm just so proud for the state of Arkansas and these kids, you know, to get to 9 wins. First time in 10 years, you know. But you look at these guys right up here. Look at all them Arkansas Razorback fans, and we appreciate every one of them. And I'm so proud for the kids, you know. Had a run early, and then we came out, and I think we've won 5 of the last 6 at the end, and got beat by a team that's in the college playoffs, you know, or in the championship game. So real happy for us and our state and our kids.
When you guys were down 10-7 at halftime, you said you felt you were getting a little bit outworked in some areas. How impressed were you with the work and the run game that you guys put on in the second half?
Well, the biggest adjustment we made at halftime was the run game. You know, we figured out what they were doing and tried to make that adjustment. Need to run KJ a little bit more. Things like that. We asked the O-line to step up. But the bottom line is, I talked to him about, we were down 10-7 against Rice. Let's don't make a mountain out of a molehill. And I said, hey, we can't play worse than we did in the first half. So let's just go out and have fun. We made the adjustments. The kid came out and played really hard.
You guys took a team picture with your 3 rivalry trophies, and you left a space for the Outback Bowl trophy. How gratifying is this moment?
Oh, I think it's going to be unbelievable. I think the kids will have it in their home, in their office. I sure as heck will. I tell you that.
Thanks, Coach. Congratulations.
Hey, go Hogs. Thank you so much.
Dave.
Yeah, he's one of the characters of college football, and what a job he's done. 24-10, the final score.
Just set it up for me, so all I need to do is push buttons.
All right, thanks, Stormy. And, Stormy referenced it there. Sam told us, Rod, that they took that team picture and left a spot, and as in his words, we're going to Photoshop that dang trophy in there, and that's what they're going to do. And then they're going to frame the picture, put it on an Outback Champions plaque, and give one to every single player.
Yeah, and when you look at it,
welcome back, SEC Now. Peter Burns, Matt Stinchcomb. I think Stinch is more of a blooming onion kind of guy. I'm more of coconut shrimp. Outback Bowl here between Penn State and Arkansas. Sam Pittman and the Hogs trying to continue that SEC Big Ten momentum. Penn State going to the air early. Show me that again. Did that just happen? Greg Burks Jr. tipping it to himself? Wow, what a play. Defense coming up big for the Hogs early. Later in the first, still scoreless. KJ Jefferson, 4th and 3. Whoop! Spin move. Breaking ankles. First down. Later in the drive, Sam Pittman says, man, it's 4th down. Let's just go for it again. Looked like a false start, a little confusion. I'd love to say that was trickeration. I just think it was maybe a little sloppy play that worked out great for the Hogs. Penn State wanted a flag. They didn't get it. Next play, Rocket Sanders in for 6. Hogs in front. We go to the third. Arkansas trailing now 10-7. Jefferson, keeper. Plenty of space. Takes it inside Penn State 30-yard line. Later on the drive, Jefferson says, well, I'll just do it again. This time, scampers into the end zone. Hogs go up 14-10. See a theme in this highlight? All KJ all the time. Nothing but the hits. Jefferson, another big gain on the ground. 34 yards. He goes down hard. He's tired. Now, Razorback fans are thinking, my gosh, we had something going. Malik Hornsby comes in. No problem. Just does the same thing. Around the edge, 32 more yards, down to the 1-yard line. Next play, Rocket Sanders. Well, he did it once. He can do it again. Straight ahead for the score, 24-10 at this point. And then, it's my favorite point when SEC plays Big Ten. Just big boy football. Georgia did it to Michigan, and bumper pool doing it to the Nittany Lion. Take another look at this play. Yeesh. And that was not the only defense. Fourth quarter, Joe Fauci comes up with a huge interception in the end zone to end that Penn State threat. But wait, Fauci says he wants to be a part of this highlight once more. On the blitz, gets the sack. And with that, 24-10, Arkansas wins. That's their 9th win on the season. Coach Sam Pittman, how you feeling?
I'm just so proud for the state of Arkansas and these kids, to get to 9 wins. First time in 10 years, But you look at these guys right up here. Look at all them Arkansas Razorback fans, and we appreciate every one of them. And I'm so proud for the kids, Had a run early, and then we came out, and I think we've won 5 of the last 6 at the end, and got beat by a team that's in the college playoffs, or in the championship game. So real happy for us and our state and our kids.
You should be. Arkansas wrapped up its 30th season in the SEC with its 3rd New Year's Day Bowl win since joining this conference. The Razorbacks finished the season with 9 wins, the most since going 11-2 and winning the Cotton Bowl back at the end of 2011. And since whenever you heard Sam Pittman, he knew exactly how long it's been, like how big this win was going to be for this program. Ultimately, was it because of KJ Jefferson or more so because of the defense?
Well, I think in the first half, it was probably more the defense that you could point towards because KJ Jefferson went off in the second half. But you think about the turnovers, the key stops, and they did it without Trey Williams. A number of guys, Traylon Burks also not available, but you see the pressure that they were able to generate and the effect that it had on Sean Clifford as a passer, generating turnovers, the big hits, the sticks. You talked about it, the SEC versus Big Ten. Those are the 2 premier conferences in all of college football, and then you see the big hitting that went on, but it felt like the turnovers set up what proved to be a pretty explosive offensive day, especially in the second half for Arkansas.
What a job Barry Odom has done with that team over the last 2 years. Going on the other side, KJ Jefferson has really grown. How have you seen his maturity pay off in not only this win, but all season long?
I think more than anything else is his poise over the course of 4 quarters. Wasn't an explosive start, right? This wasn't a big passing day for KJ Jefferson, unsurprisingly so, without his favorite target out wide. but you look at his 110 rushing yards, 104 of those coming in the second half. He's a big physical body, but more than anything else, I think it's his commitment to his team that he's shown all season long. He's taken a lot of hits. We saw Malik Hornsby in there with the big run. Why'd he go in there? Because KJ Jefferson got the wind knocked out of him. The guy's out there laying it all on the line, and you could tell that his teammates, especially offensively, they rally around that type of performance. And it's been like that all season long for the Arkansas signal caller.
Yeah, 110 rushing yards. He even talked about when Malik Hornsby went in. He goes, that's great, man. He does exactly what I do, and there's a lot of camaraderie around there. It led to 361 yards rushing. It tied a bowl record for the Hogs. They had the hardest, schedule in all of college football this year, according to some of those rankings. Just 9 wins.
There is no more famous non-presidential Razorback fan than John Daly, so much so he did what he could to fire up the team.
I think me and Little John fired this team up to win this Outback Bowl, win the PNC.
There you go. Did you give some advice to the guys at practice the other day?
Well, I fed him pizza last night, so we're good.
There you go.
That's it.
I work all the time. I need you to cue the just a bit outside memes because this is maybe the worst kick of the college football season. Penn State lined up for the 50-yard field goal, and Jake Penninger, he did make a 43-yarder later. He also wasn't the regular season kicker. So maybe we should be looking at James Franklin for the answers here. And maybe he could explain this one too, because that is Jordan Stout, who was the regular season kicker, but he only handled kickoffs and punts in the Outback Bowl. So this means Stout is very much, air quotes, responsible for this gem of a fake punt. Do I need to tell you that Penn State lost the Outback Bowl?
Was that?
Did I need to say that, or was it actually just implied?
Oh my word.
Few years since the Razorbacks have been to a bowl.
I hope it is. It is to us. I believe it is. You can kind of feel it in the crowd. You can kind of feel it, and we're hungry for football. Our state's hungry for football. We're a proud state, and football, and no disrespect to any other sport, football is big in the state of Arkansas at the University of Arkansas, and I think there's always folks that want more, and one of them is me. But it's over now, and to be Outback Bowl champions with 9 wins, I'm really, really proud of our team with what we've accomplished. 2 of the teams that beat us also were pretty good last night, so we play in a heck of a league, and I'm proud to be, and I said it a long time ago, we're in the SEC West right where Arkansas belongs, and we're starting to prove that.
Coach, you beat Texas, you finish at the top of the SEC, you win the Outback Bowl. Beginning of the year, do you think that was all possible?
Oh, yeah, I knew that's going to happen. You look down on a piece of paper. Just don't put the schedule on paper. You look down on paper, you go, huh? Who's trying to fire me? And I'm like, but one thing about it, we got guys like him. As long as we got guys like him and coaches like I have and kids that'll work hard, we're going to be fine. And we are at the University of Arkansas, and I'm proud of that. Thank you.